Welcome. My name is Tessa, and I'm a licensed professional counselor, and I am the mother to two wonderful and autistic children. Today I'm going to talk about giving your child the benefit of the doubt. And what I mean by this is cultivating an attitude with our children that acknowledges that they are trying their hardest and doing their best. This is important to do with every child, but especially so when your child is disabled. Now, I get it. Sometimes it seems as though your child willfully refuses to learn or is being difficult on purpose just to spite you. I know a lot of people have the attitude that autistic children can talk more than they do, and that they're refusing to talk for reasons that remain unclear. And perhaps they're right. We can't say for sure, though. And because we can't, it's best to err on the side of caution and believe that they are trying their best. Why? Here's an example. I have an auditory processing disorder, which basically means that while my hearing is good, my hearing comprehension is poor. So people can talk to me, and somewhere between my ears and my brain, the signal gets messed up, and I have a hard time decoding what people are saying. I can remember how distorted sounds were when I was a child. Walking around at school, it could feel as though I were listening to sound with my head underwater. Have you ever tried to understand what somebody is saying when you're in a swimming pool? Well, that was my life as a child. And here's the thing, even though I tried hard to listen and pay attention, sometimes adults wouldn't believe me when I told them I couldn't understand what they were saying. And here's the thing, it is extremely discouraging when you try hard at something and you can't do it to be told you're either not really trying or not trying hard enough. Think about a time when you tried hard at something and someone told you that you weren't trying hard enough because you failed. Did you feel like trying harder, or did you feel like just giving up because your effort didn't matter? When we tell our children that they aren't trying, or when we tell them that they are deliberately being difficult, we invalidate their effort and we invalidate the reality of their struggle, especially when our child has a disability. Think of a time you have struggled to do something. How would you feel if somebody told you that your struggles weren't real? Generally, people get angry and discouraged when this happens. They think, why even bother? In many cases with children with intellectual and developmental disabilities, they can be trying hard and appear to not be. And we don't want to undermine their effort by accusing them of not really trying when they are. Trust me, your child is already looking around and seeing that what is coming difficultly to them is coming much easier to everyone else, and they are already feeling shame and inadequacy. Doubting the effort that they are putting into it makes it worse. No child wants to fail. When your child is struggling, that is a sign that something isn't connecting somewhere. The people who helped me were the ones who believed that I couldn't hear and started to implement strategies to increase my ability to comprehend what people say. These were things like making sure I sat in the front row, had written instructions, stuff like that. And look, by finding ways to alter my environment so my hearing comprehension could go up, it didn't give me an excuse to not do things. It instead got me to the point where I could hear well enough that I could be a counselor. It's not about giving your child excuses not to do something. It's about finding the barriers that is preventing them from succeeding and giving them the support they need to be successful. I was lucky because in my case, I could communicate where I was having difficulty. For other children, the frustration is greater because they can't. And while this is frustrating on our end as a parent to know our child is struggling and for them to be unable to tell us how they are struggling, it's even more frustrating for our children to not be able to communicate this. When our children feel supported and heard, though, we can help them manage that frustration and decrease the behavioral problems that come with expressing the frustration. So here's the thing. By giving them the benefit of the doubt, we can still see improvements even if we never find the reasons that they were struggling. Here's an example. For a while, my son wouldn't carry his backpack from the car and into the house. I would ask him to do it, and he wouldn't. I would try to model it. He didn't want to model it. I would get frustrated because, hey, I didn't want to be a pack mule. But I would calmly ask and then carry it in myself when he didn't do it. I just had to trust that there was a reason that he couldn't. One day, he picked up his backpack, took it into the house, and hung it on the rack. And since that day, he's taken his backpack into the house and put it on the rack. As counterintuitive as this may seem, by giving him the benefit of the doubt, it paid off. I didn't turn it into a power struggle for one thing, something that I always recommend avoiding with autistic children. For another, there was likely some reason he was having a hard time with the task, even if I can't tell for sure what that reason is. By waiting until he was developmentally ready to do the task, indicated about when he was able to complete the task, my son got to the point where he could complete it. So whether a child is struggling academically, or if they are struggling to clean up their room or become toilet trained, or any of the other myriad ways that our children can struggle that seem designed to just frustrate us, we have to take a step back and remember that no kid wants to be a failure. Rather than making judgments about their lack of effort, and bluntly, unless we are our children, we can't really know how much effort they are putting into it, and using shame to motivate, I recommend giving the benefit of the doubt and trying to pinpoint the reasons they are struggling and building supports to help them succeed. Because when you do the latter, the message your child receives is that they are capable. We just have to figure out the right way to do it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. You can also let me know what topics you would like to see covered. Next week, I'll be talking about the developmental challenges that happen at the age of 3. Take care.